This is a traditional story arc. What people tend to do is have a climax in the back half or towards the back side. It's very popular in a 30-second ad. It's like someone's like making their breakfast, you're following the story, and then it kind of like unveils some sort of moment. And this is what you would see with the hero's journey. People love the hero's journey. There's got to be sort of like something that happens, and you go towards it, and then they're triumphant. Problem is, that doesn't work anymore. This is the new story arc. Actually, I wish I could come up with it. We were already doing this, and then I found it in a YouTube presentation, and I was like, oh, that's what we're doing. Thanks for giving me an actual chart. So I do give them some credit down there. But yeah, no, this is how we design and think about our ads. You have to start high. You have to start with so much urgency. A lot of times we're starting with a problem statement. Dr. Squatch just starts with like, the soap you're showering with is shit, right? And yes, like cussing is used often just as like a pattern interrupt. I mean, you're just scrolling through the internet. I mean, it's one of those things. You don't have to do that. You'll see a lot of our examples won't, but it is a reality that people have to be shaken out of their mindset. And then we always want to prioritize maintaining connection over selling. It's like, if you are trying to make that hard sell too soon, it is a dance. You want to make sure that you're giving people either a lot of education. Brett mentioned True Earth earlier. I think their ads are fantastic too. We just did one with their team, Ryan McKenzie over there. They're brilliant marketers, but they do a great job of riding that curve of like, they don't ask for the hard sell in the first couple seconds, or even sometimes the first minute. They build out the story. But then we get to the place where you have to ask, right? The idea is you want people to click the link, you want them to buy, you want them to consider, and all of this happens in a motion where the back half of the ad leans more heavily into like validation and continually asking people once the hard work's been done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play an ad. This is not picking on this ad. By the way, I just randomly, I literally typed in like Tide ad, right? Like I'm not picking on this particular ad, but this is usually what big brands or even small brands will do is they'll make an ad and then they'll try to just load it into YouTube. And I want you to feel in your heart, like, would I skip this after 4 seconds? Like, I just want you to feel it and ask yourself, like, would I watch this? Even if you're the target demo.
We really had our hands full with our 2-year-old.
Yeah, so naturally, we doubled down with the new puppy.
Sure, they're twice as cute together, but now we've got double the stains.
And double the odors.
Thankfully, we also have Tide Ultra Oxy with odor eliminators. It can handle double trouble because it's the #1 stain fighter.
And the #1 odor remover.
I thought you guys were helping.
For the #1 stain fighter and odor remover, it's got to be Tide.
Okay, that's an ad, right? Nothing wrong with it. The problem is, I feel like at this point, I would not watch that ad. I just wouldn't. I would skip it. I'm trying to get to my Mr. Beast video or my Zach King video. I don't know what you're watching, but it's like, it doesn't command and demand your attention. It doesn't keep you wondering. I'm about to play you an ad that launches in 2 weeks. Ask them for permission to show it. But it's also for a laundry product that's doing well. It's laundry sauce that I mentioned earlier. And I want you to just feel like it almost dares you to skip it. Even if you don't care about what they're selling, you're like, what the heck is this ad for? That's just the beginning state of how we think about advertising. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that example.
Unfortunately, it's really good. My life was simple, predictable, routine, and I threw it all away when I started using laundry sauce, the world's best smelling laundry pods. I lost my job in middle management. They made me CEO. So much power. No one can resist the French saffron. Sweet, spicy, botanical. Get out of my life, you beautiful smelling pod! I never used to think about laundry. It just used to be a boring chore. Now I can't stop. If you want your life to stay exactly like it is and never change or get better, then don't go to laundrysauce.com.
So what's fun about that is it's not just a random shot in the dark. Hey, let's put something outrageous out there. Like that was the leading ad copy, even on still images on Meta, right? We're not just like, hey, let's just make a crazy ad. We wanted to reverse engineer this idea of like, unfortunately, it's really good. Fortunately, I'm buying $100 laundry detergent now, right? Like, it's incredible to watch their growth, but if they were to make a version of that Tide ad, would it work? No. And so sometimes seeing things like side by side, you can kind of get a sense of like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. If I'm on YouTube, I might actually watch that commercial